quite a challenge to present your 4 years research in 15 minutes. I'll skip some parts, but I will highlight a significant part. So my thesis was about planning, developing, and execution of cyber operations in the information environment. And I defended my thesis 12th of January, so just 5 weeks ago. So let's dive in. As all the theses, you have to have a unique problem statement. And in short, to recap, NATO affiliated cyber exercises demonstrate that operational level offensive cyber operation planning represents a developing field. Secondly, cyber headquarter teams often face challenges in maintaining situational awareness and conducting planning within the logical layer. And thirdly, the definition of offensive cyber operation planner competencies and cyber operations organization structures remains an evolving area requiring additional research. So a bit relevant background since 2019. I was Cyber Headquarters Commander Deputy in the exercise Crosswords. Next year, Chief of Operations in Crosswords 2020. Next year, Headquarter Commander in Crosswords. Also, I am currently Estonian Defence Forces Cyber Operation Commander in Reserve. And when we started doing these cyber operation planning exercises, there were no formal training framework for planners. There were no established organization structures for cyber planning staff also. The cyber operation planning relied heavily on individual expertise, and there were no specialized digital tools for planning. So this was motivation enough to me to start researching and writing some science. So the thesis has 3 aims. The first aim was to define a competency framework for OCO planners. The second aim to design and propose optimized organization structure for cyber headquarters, red teams and blue teams. And lastly, to develop and validate operational planning situation awareness tool. So let's see how it went. So I'll recap this, but there were 3 research questions which had 3 in each sub-questions. But in short, the first one was what competencies acquired for OCO planners? The second one, what should be the optimal organization structure for CO? And it divides to red teams, blue teams, and cyber commander headquarters structure. And the last one was about the tool. How can operational planning and situation awareness in cyber operation be enhanced, in short? So now we have established the problem statement, we have research questions, and now we only need to have answers. So during my 4 years of research, I actually participated in several exercises and published several papers and interviewed a lot of smart people. And this is just one of the highlights. So I'm really proud of that result, because as PhD stands, you have to establish some new knowledge that didn't exist before. And for that, question 1.3, what framework, including training plan, is required to develop a OCO planner? So in my publication number 3, which is part of the thesis, there is dataset 1, and it's this actual framework. And in short, it consists that the OCO planners shall include 78 unique knowledge areas, 44 skills, 34 abilities, and there is also custom training plan which includes 9 specialized courses. So that's a full framework, validated and ready to be used in any developing cyber command or exercise environment. So the second one, what is the optimal organization structure for red teams? Just point out some key findings. Some of them are quite straightforward, but still in in academic literature, they're not been published. So red teamers require specialized tools, infrastructure, separate planning time. It's longer than, for example, in blue teams. Good team leaders and harmonized team. The harmonized is mean by competence. You cannot have in one team like one is very bad and 10 is very good competency and a mix of that. They need to be harmonized in quite equal competency levels. And the next one will be figure, but to explain a bit the figure, the red team structure in exercise consists of net, they target infrastructure and communication, client side that attack user devices and application, and web that attack web application targets. And the significant part is also access management. They share already gained accesses. So this is the result of the findings. Basically, the optimal organization structure for red teams in exercise settings. So led by from the top, led by red team leader. He has two deputies. One of the deputies on the left side in the red box has is kind of a non-technical secretary that relates to white team, and there below that are the actual teams, client side, net web, access management, and there are thin line between. There is no hard line because the focus of my thesis were operational level, but in this structure there is no hard line between operational and tactical. So there is just this dotted line that this is kind of a mental line between operational and tactical level. And the smallest unit is battle pair, and this is also significant. There is no individuals. The smallest unit is battle pair. The reasoning behind that is that if you get a single person to point a task, they will get stuck. So at least two persons to conduct a cyber operation tactical engagement. So this is it for the red team. So next one is about the blue teams. Our famous lock shields. They have many blue teams, and they've been experimenting with the structures. And luckily, the year that I did the research on it, the Finnish blue team won, and it is quite similar. So a couple of highlights. The winning team had 11 elements. So 11 element is a box on the structure, like here on the example, like a commander, a legal aid, forensic and technology capabilities. So to emphasize, the winning team had 11 elements and 54 personnel in total, which in mathematically averaging 4.9 personnel to structure element. So this was at that time key to victory. And next is also these top teams. Let's say top 5 successful teams have standard skill set, prioritize strategic planning, and they rely heavily on customized tools as well, like the red teamers. And to summarize, the optimal structure for lock shields blue team may consist of 11 elements and 55 personnel, including commander, legal, forensic, and technological capabilities. So let's move on to the cyber headquarters. So this is also a big part of the research. And since I participated, I think 5 times in this headquarter planning, and in 2019 in Riga, we started with basically nothing. And during these iterations of exercises, the structure got better and better and better. And now I can claim that this is the optimal organization structure for cyber headquarters when acting a training audience. And to highlight some points, key roles include also from the top commander, legal in the advisors box also, chief of staff, and units responsible for command and control and operation planning. So this is basically the minimum as the headquarters is capable to manage operations. And another significant thing is still that the focus is on maintaining situational awareness. That's why the structure has information manager in the middle, because there are a lot of reports going in and out, and there need to be a dedicated entity to handle the data. And of course, analysts and tactical units are integrated during the execution phase. Those are highlighted with dotted lines. So that's only the difference pre-planning and during the execution. And imagine that you have to learn some exquisite language by tomorrow. Let's say for me Spanish, which I really like, and I don't know any words like garçon, and that's it. I don't have the time to go to school to take a course, but the fastest way is to add experienced mentors that accelerates the effectiveness of decision making. So that's it from the CHQ side. And basically, the last research question was around the tool. The aim was to get higher level of technically ready, technical readiness level tool, but academically it was still a prototype. But nevertheless, we have something actionable, and I have some few eye candies left in the slides. So, but my research identified 30 user requirements, and I identified those through literature review and expert interviews. And I emphasize experts because it's really challenging to get on record offensive cyber operation planners. So those are really rare breed in the world, especially when you want to have academically validated interview. And I gathered those user requirements and validated those in an online survey. The survey was basically May to July 24, and significant part is that 22 different nations participated in that survey, which is, by my point of view, I'm very happy with the result. Because basically all the offensive cyber operation planners around the world had a say in these user requirements. And for the tool, this is the tool we actually used in 2021 in crossword exercise. I'm sorry for the quality, but it's the only remaining image of ongoing operational planning. There are a lot of unique and new features that didn't exist. As you heard that red team had specialized tools and blue teams have specialized tools, but the cyber headquarters planners, the officers who actually need to maintain the overview of operation, and they had Excel and PowerPoint, and we started even with the drawing board, whiteboard. So this was the first time in exercises that had a specialized planning tool, overview of overview of operational area. And I have one more slide, so I'm quite good on time. Take a breather. And in that sense, I have defended my thesis, but research still continues. I'm still involved in these operational activities, and we are developing a new prototype, dynamic asset response tracking and strategic planning, in short, DARTS. We have it registered in our company as an internal prototype, and we are planning to get it pre-live on this year's May, which aligns with the Spring Storm exercise, which is the biggest biggest land-based exercise in Estonian Defence Forces. And still today, 2026, there is no off-the-shelf product. So this is the prototype. It's a snapshot from a live operational environment, and a lot of new features. For first of all, like 3D view and a lot of more things, but I won't go any detail. And basically, that's it. What I got. And thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Let's hear the applause. Did you hear the applause?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, so I'm gonna ask a question from my side here. The tool that you just showed and the research that has gone behind it, it's an internal corporate prototype, something. So does that mean that you either have to pay your company millions and millions of euros to play with it, or is there any possibility that this research can be like practically used by others as well to build similar things? Or what's that tool for? Who is it for?
So basically, to be honest, I'm currently working at Enefit Power as a CISO, and I have 3 different power plants. And my first intent was to create operation area overview. What are my assets? What is going on? And this, the last figure represents this operation technology environment. It's a galaxy. There are tens of separate networks, separate vendors and systems, and I need to have overview of my assets and to plan basically, from my point of view, IT and cyber operations. In case of a cyber attack, where do I cut off? What are the risks? And that's the first goal. And secondly, what about the sharing? We develop it in-house, and I plan to use it also in the Defense Forces exercises. So when we get it like pre-live, so it's documented, it's stable. I tend to share it with Estonian Defense Forces Cyber Command and try to use this in the upcoming cyber operation planning exercises. Thank you.